Good afternoon. Mayapa Oktu. Here's the plan. Continuing what we started this morning. Just for once, I don't mind saying it's more of the same. So, if you saw this morning's episode and you've come back for more, you are suckers for punishment, but thank you. You will have seen the first beginnings of finishing in the house with the tiles going onto the patio in one of the bedrooms. There were various other things going on during the morning and all of those will be continuing, but the focus inevitably will still be on, at least my focus, will be on those patios and those tiles. What could possibly go wrong? We have to start where we ended, back on this patio, where our multitasking engineer is now learning how to mix the tile adhesive. But outside, solid progress, continuing with those tiles. We will come back towards the end of the day and just see how they've got on. But Mr. Rene did just confirm to me he's pretty confident they'll have this patio finished at some point tomorrow. Mr. Herwin, our painter extraordinaire, is working in Alex's room, painting these outside section of panels on the ceiling. He's already done quite a bit. I think some of this was done already, but I think some of this was today with various sections. He's got about, wow, in a very short time he's got almost 3/4 of these outside sections with their first coat. Richard and Owen are in George's bedroom with a rather snappy light show going on, coming from the laser level. We have to think about doing something like that on a more permanent basis, but they're just chipping out the floor in preparation for what comes next. And they did confirm this wooden, I think it's plywood planks, they are just temporary. On the master bedroom balcony, singing Rico, just making some adjustments. I really am struggling today with the Hardiflex panels, and if I just take a couple of steps, Melvin has started work on the mud and tape around this side. Now, I think down here, it looks to me like they decided early on they were going to do a bit more waterproofing, or start the waterproofing for this patio, and then rather quickly change their minds, because I think that is possibly the waterproofing material, although it looks a bit less green. I could be wrong. Whatever, if they did decide to start, they stopped. I guess because Manny decided the focus should be on the ceiling. Donald and Rico and Manny are continuing to work on these guides for the topping, the screed, here in the walk-in closet for the master bedroom, and it's quite possible that before the end of today they start extending into this little corridor that I'm standing in. I'll just take a few steps back and start moving towards the bedroom itself. Back in Alex's room, Yves is definitely camera shy. As soon as I walk in, off he goes. He did say to me he is very shy, so we'll leave him alone as much as we can. A couple of days ago, I said we had made a decision about the roofing for the White House. And I mentioned that what we were going to do was to put some non-clear corrugated plastic over most of the roof, and then put in some skylights, which would be clear, which would be polycarbonate. And I said what we were probably aiming for would be to have about 5 skylights on either side of the roof. But then I said I had absolutely no idea whether that was going to be enough light, too much light, because I've got no experience of gardening and trying to figure these things out. So, a big thank you
to Ted Rudicki. Ted, if I said that wrong, 1,000 apologies. Ted's put in a comment that said, fundamentally, the rule of something like 70-30 or maybe 75-25 is what probably most mimics nature. The 25 or 30% being direct light and the balance being not direct light. So I suspect that the skylights we're going to have will be somewhere very, very roughly in that range of 25 to 30% of the total roof. Thank you again to Ted for suggesting that maybe that's going to be okay. Ross Payne asked whether I could try and look at this septic tank from a slightly different angle so we could get a bit of a better picture of where the pipes are amongst other things. So I'm not quite sure what we need to show Ross. This is just looking from a different direction, not a different angle. So I don't know whether this, which is as low as I can get, that was my knee cracking if you heard that, I don't know if that helps you. The pipe coming from the house is right at the top over here. That's probably the, without getting in there, those are the only other angles I can show you, I think. But if there's something else specifically that you think would help, let me know. Mark Vivori has put a comment in. Mark comments very regularly and very often extremely helpfully. But he's clearly got a little bit irritated by my explanation of why we have catch basins. He didn't say irritated, he used an abbreviation for something significantly stronger. All I can tell you is that was the explanation I got from the engineer here on site. It was the explanation we got from somebody else who also comments very regularly on there as a builder. What can I tell you, Mark? Those are the explanations I was given. You know me, this process is all new. If anybody else would care to take a look at Mark's comments, it's in the comments section. And I'm sure it's probably valid. I don't know. If anybody else would like to pitch in, please do so. But let's please keep this on a nice level. If you strongly agree or strongly disagree, that's fine, but please keep your tone and your comments moderate. Thank you very much. In George's room, Owen got all of the surfaces painted with at least one coat of paint. I'll have to check with him tomorrow and see whether that was actually more than one. On the balcony, or the master bedroom, looks like Melvin got all of the mud and tape in place. From what I can see, I think there is actually all the tape in place. To be fair, I think we might need a bit more mud because some of the tape, it's going to be hard to make out, is actually still exposed. So I would imagine more of the skim coat will go on top of that. Something else on the master bedroom balcony, they have got all of that waterproofing mixture on this balcony as well. So that'll dry overnight, and who knows, maybe the day after tomorrow this might be where they go next, or where there is still the balcony outside Sabrina's room, which they might do that as the second one. In the walk-in closet for the master bedroom, they did not extend the guides further down towards the bedroom, they remained within the walk-in closet itself, but they have started to fill in the gaps. Not a lot yet, but it's a start. In George's bathroom, I think Richard and Erwin continue to chip away at the floor to get it to a surface they want. Didn't get beyond that today though. This is Sabrina's bathroom, and they have now attached the base to this floating cabinet where the wash basin will go. And at the moment, there's nothing else in here, no other cabinetry. So my guess is they're doing just this cabinet to begin with in all of the bathrooms. And this is in Jack's bathroom. Same thing. We've got that base in place in this room. But this is what today is all about for me. The first bits of finishing. Now they have got, I'd say maybe slightly less than half of this floor is now covered with tiles. So whether or not they will finish it tomorrow, we'll have to wait and see. There is no rush, we're not going to push them. I did say again to Mr. Renault, just do it well, don't be quick, that doesn't worry me. While we're in Jack's room, I did say yesterday that there was an additional guide beam in the middle, in between these two, which they removed. And I did ask the engineer this morning, and the reason they removed it wasn't because it came out in the middle of the door into the closet in here, simply it was the wrong height. So it will be going back. For those of you that have been following this process for any length of time, over there, Bappa Jess is back, our electrician, which is wonderful news, and even more wonderful, in case you weren't aware of it, his brother about 2 weeks ago had a stroke, and Bappa Jess had to leave us very urgently to go and be with his brother in Manila. But I did speak to Bappa Jess earlier on today, and he said the stroke was actually, as far as these things go, it was mild, and the brother was expected to make a pretty good recovery. So absolutely fantastic news. Obviously more so that the brother is apparently on the road to recovery, and less so that Bappa Jess is back here, but he is back. So being selfish about it, it's great for us, but it's just wonderful that his brother, it seems, a little bit of an escape, if any kind of stroke can be viewed as an escape. I guess it can't, but it could have been so much worse. That is the end of the day. By splitting this into two parts, there was always a risk that the second part could end up being incredibly short, because I had no idea what kind of filming would come later in the day. So I would appreciate if you'd let me know in the comments, good idea, bad idea. If you've ended up watching all of both parts for today, I think it would be very fair to say it was a bad idea, because that means you've had to sit through 2 entries and 2 exits rather than 1 of each, so you've actually watched for longer. But let me know what you think. It was trying to give people the option to say, done, thank you, that's enough for today. But I'm sure some of you at least will watch all or part of both. So please do let me know, is this something that, if I think it's going to be a very, very long episode again, which it could have been, should I do the same thing again? I mentioned before, it does help me to split it, because it's meant that I can get the bulk of today's episode out much faster. But that's not the point. The point is, as a viewer, is it irritating? Is it okay? Is it better? Any kind of comments would be marvellous. Tomorrow we will see whether they do finish that first balcony. When I say finish, I'm not assuming that will include grouting, but you never know. But it does seem like, based on what we just saw, it might be a little bit of a stretch to get all of it done. Doesn't matter, but we'll see. And then we'll see, do they continue with balconies elsewhere, or do they focus on something else? See you tomorrow.